welcome. My name is Jamie and I'm the circulation coordinator at the Elgin Public Library here in Elgin, Texas. We're excited to welcome you to our bilingual video series on early literacy called Read to Me or Lee Conmigo, which we are fortunate to provide to the citizens of Elgin and the surrounding communities thanks to a generous grant from the Institute of Museum and Library Services and the Texas State Library and Archives Commission.
¿Cómo están? Hace frío, hay lluvia, pero vinieron a la biblioteca. Welcome to our 5th workshop. Isn't that wonderful? Miss Jamie, we've done it.
Yeah, this is excellent. I'm so glad to see so many people back.
Ajá. Estamos en el taller número 5. Tenemos 8 talleres que vamos a hacer, así que todavía nos falta marzo, abril y mayo. Y luego tienen sorpresas para el verano, right? So we have 3 more. We have March, April, and May that I'll be here. And then Ms. Jamie, you may have something special for the summer. So what we're going to start right now, the kids are going to go to the other room. Vamos a hacer que los niños vayan a su otro salón. Pero vamos a cantar una canción que se llama Si tú tienes muchas ganas de aplaudir. In English is if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. But we're only going to sing 2 things from the book. Now, how many of you have seen a song in a book? Raise your hand if you have. ¿Cuántos de ustedes han visto una canción en un libro? If you've never seen it, guess what? You're going to see it right now. Si nunca la han visto o la han escuchado, van a ver esa canción en este libro. El libro es en inglés, pero fácilmente se puede traducir al español. The book is in English, but very easily you can translate in Spanish. But whenever we have books, we do our best to find things that are in English and Spanish at the same time, or one version in English and one version in Spanish. Cada vez que buscamos libros, queremos tener libros en inglés y queremos tener libros en español. I will be speaking bilingually. I'm going to be using English and Spanish. I'll be translating because we are we're videotaping our sessions and we're uploading them, and we want to make sure that the community that speaks Spanish have the same access, the same opportunities to hear about what we're going to talk about. Entonces vamos a estar traduciendo, vamos a estar hablando inglés y en español, porque estamos grabando la sesión y queremos que la gente que habla español tenga la oportunidad de escuchar estos talleres. Okay, boys and girls, as we start singing, I want you to very slowly get up and go with me, Teresa, as we start to sing. Very slowly. Okay, ready? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Very good, boys and girls. Bye. We'll see you in a little bit. Nos vemos al ratito. Bye. I speak Spanish. You're going to learn it. All right, thank you so much. All right. Okay.
He wants to learn Spanish.
He wants to learn. Oh, perfect. Well, one of the books I'm going to be reading has Spanish words in it, and that's one good way of introducing them, to the language. So.
Yeah, we've done that a few times. It's funny, he loves it.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. Okay. So, how many of you remember our what we originally told you about the important skills, essential skills that children must have by the time they start kindergarten. ¿Cuántos de ustedes recuerdan las destrezas esenciales para cuando los niños empiecen el kinder? Do you remember? Los números. Numbers from 1 to 20, los números del 1 al 20. ¿Qué más? What else? Los colores son muy importantes, ¿verdad? So you have to they have to practice the colors. ¿Qué más? What else?
Knowing school supplies.
Knowing their school supplies. Tienen que saber cuáles son los útiles escolares, right? So, and these are things that a teacher from the Elgin school, a kindergarten teacher said, that's the best, one of the best things that how you can prepare your child. Una maestra de kinder del distrito de Elgin nos dijo que estas son cosas importantes para que los niños sepan antes de que empiecen el kinder. What else? Is there something else? Sharing. Sharing. Compartir es muy importante. ¿Qué más?
Being able to write their own name.
Read and write their own name. They have to identify their name. Tienen que saber cómo identificar su nombre.
That's just the first name. Or what?
The first name is terrific. If they have the last name, that will just, I mean, the teacher will be amazed, right? But if they can just recognize it, they don't have to write it. If they can recognize their first name, that's terrific. Si solamente pueden reconocer su primer nombre, es fantástico. Si pueden reconocer el primer nombre y su apellido, también eso es fantástico. ¿Qué más? What else? And if you have the handout, you can, access it. And if you don't have it, that's okay. Tienen que saber cómo jugar con otros niños. They have to know how to play with others. Why do you think that's important? ¿Por qué piensan que es importante cómo saber jugar con otros niños? Por ejemplo,
Kids in the class.
what's that?
So because there's other kids in the class.
There's other kids in the world. Hay otros niños en el mundo, se tienen que aprender cómo llevarse bien. There are other kids, and there are the kids that may want the same things that they want. And sometimes we can't get everything that we want. And so they have to learn to self-regulate, right? Tienen que aprender cómo autorregularse. They also have to know how to communicate. Tienen que saber cómo comunicarse. It's important for them to have that vocabulary. So if you're working with them, teaching them certain vocabulary, and I'm not talking about only numbers and colors and shapes, but actual words that will help them describe their emotions, their feelings, and their needs. Es importante que los niños sepan las palabras que deben de utilizar al comunicarse, sobre todo cuando están comunicando sus emociones, sus sentimientos, porque muchas veces es falta del vocabulario que ellos se frustran y empiezan a enojarse, empiezan a hacer el berrinche, entonces tienen que tener ese vocabulario. So having the vocabulary helps them prevent that tantrum because they're able to identify their feelings. So that feeling that we sang about in the book, happy, right? What does it mean to be happy? That happy is a very abstract construct, right? ¿Qué es lo que quiere decir estar feliz? Ese es un sentimiento que acabamos de presentar en el libro que leímos, las primeras 2 páginas, pero es un concepto abstracto. Muchas veces los niños no saben qué quiere decir eso. It is our job as adults to teach them what that is. And so you identify the feeling, you identify the emotion. Les dicen, tienen que identificar ustedes como padres las emociones de los niños. Les pueden decir, estás muy feliz porque fuiste a casa de tu abuelita. You're very happy because you went to grandma's house. So you're already identifying that emotion. And when Miss Teresa was walking out, she was going like this, happy. Cuando la maestra se los llevó a los niños, les estaba enseñando cómo sonreír. And so when you do that, it increases their vocabulary, it increases their knowledge of what those things are. And sometimes as parents, we forget to identify those feelings and emotions. Something else that we talked about is follow directions. Algo más que hablamos es la habilidad de seguir direcciones o instrucciones. Many times teachers get frustrated because children can follow directions. But sometimes they don't know the vocabulary. A veces los niños no saben el vocabulario de cómo seguir instrucciones. So for instance, if they say, please stand up and get in line, if they never heard get in line and they don't know what that is, they're gonna be walking around and not following directions. Si no saben lo que es ponerse en fila, entonces los niños van a estar caminando así como en dándose vueltas sin saber qué es lo que es. So it is our responsibility to teach that. And then the last skill that it's very important in social emotional and something that I included in here, it's called problem solving. What's problem solving?
Having a method to approach a challenge or difficulty.
Mm-hmm. Having a strategy, a challenge, a need. ¿Qué es lo que quiere decir resolver problemas?
I think being able to like articulate, I can't tie my shoes, and being able to ask for, like figuring that out, I'm gonna try, but then I need to ask for help.
So they look down or they're running and they go, oh, I need to tie my shoe, but I don't know how to do it.
How
And
can I
so,
get that in 8 minutes?
exactly. So what do? They usually go to an adult or they go to another child, hopefully, right? If not, the adult says, hey, you need to tie your shoelaces. Muchas veces, la resolución de problemas es saber qué estrategia utilizar para poder resolver ese problema, ¿verdad? Muchas veces el ejemplo que acabamos de dar es el que los niños no saben cómo abrocharse los zapatos o los tenis. Entonces, muchas veces siguen corriendo con las cintas desabrochadas y a veces se caen porque no saben abrocharse las cintas. Entonces, tienen que buscar una manera, ya sea que venir con los papás o con un hermanito para saber cómo resolver ese problema. La resolución de problemas es muy importante. Tener esa habilidad les ayuda a los niños a pensar. Being able to solve problems is a cognitive ability. It's something that makes us think. And there are many different ways of understanding that. La resolución de problemas es una destreza cognoscitiva o cognitiva. Esa destreza nos ayuda en nuestra vida cotidiana para saber qué es lo que tenemos que hacer. Una de las maneras que podemos enseñarle a los niños cómo resolver problemas es enseñarles a pensar. One of the ways to help children to solve problems is to help them think. So think about tying your shoelaces, right? But giving them an explanation. Les tenemos que dar la oportunidad de pensar de su problema y luego darles una solución. So tell me what a 4-year-old, what kind of a problem can a 4-year-old have? ¿Qué tipo de problema puede tener un niño de 4 años?
No pueden alcanzar el zinc para lavarse las manos.
No pueden alcanzar el zinc para lavarse las manos. They can't reach the zinc to be able to wash their hands. ¿Y qué es lo que has visto que hacen?
Al principio, decía no puedo alcanzar, pero ahora ya tiene un banquito y usa el banquito y a ella ya sabe inmediatamente que esa es la manera de poder alcanzar
de poder, en vez de decir, mami, ayúdame, no me puedo dar caso a lavarme las manos, ¿verdad? So, for instance, washing your hands and you can't reach the sink, so you have to find a way to do it rather than just calling mom or dad. And something so simple, but when you think about when you're 4 years old, if you haven't experienced it, you don't know. And so if you have a little stool, then the parent or the brother or sister shows them that stool where you can get on top of the stool so that way you can reach. A theorist named Vygotsky tells us that space between where the child is and where the adult helps them, that's called the zone of proximal development. And that zone is where lots of different things can happen. Hay un teorista que se llamaba Vygotsky, que él nos dice que el lugar de donde está el niño, entre donde está el niño y el adulto o la otra persona que les ayuda, es la zona próxima de desarrollo. So what does that mean? That means that the child has to be doing trial and error and practicing and doing all these things to be able to move ahead in their skill. So if they don't know how to get on top of the stool, with your help, they're going to learn how to get on top of the stool. And so then they master that skill. Something so simple that we don't even think about, but that is highly needed, and it teaches them how to problem solve. Entonces, una destreza tan fácil como subirse arriba de un banquito para poder lavarse las manos es esa zona próxima del desarrollo. Algo tan simple, pero es algo muy importante para que los niños sepan cómo hacerlo. So, that problem solve kind of goes everywhere, right? La habilidad de poder resolver problemas está en toda la vida cotidiana. So there's many different examples and many different things that we can do. But problem solving also helps with reading comprehension. La habilidad de resolver problemas también ayuda con la comprensión de la lectura. So how many of you have heard people say they need to know reading comprehension? ¿Cuántos de ustedes han oído decir, tienen que saber la comprensión de lectura? ¿Sí? So sometimes we hear kids, pick up a book and maybe they're in first grade and they start reading, but sometimes children decode without really understanding what they're reading. That's not reading comprehension. A veces que los niños empiezan a leer, pero leen solamente las palabras sin tener ese entendimiento o la comprensión de la lectura. So, I remember when one of my nieces was young, she will do that. She's already 30 in California and she's a teacher herself. She will do that. Tenía una sobrina que hacía eso, ella lo podía leer y se oía muy bonito. Y luego cuando yo le hacía una pregunta, no sabía cómo contestar. So, whenever she will read, she knew how to decode really well, but she had no idea how to answer certain questions that I will ask her. So, even though knowing how to decode is important, because that means that you're identifying the words, the meaning of the word is even more important. Es importante saber cómo pronunciar las palabras, pero aún más importante es el significado de las palabras. And so we can do that in different ways. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I gotta get my phone. Because I have some things to share with you. I think I put over here. Yeah. I use my phone for quite a bit of things. And so, okay. Entonces, hay 7 pasos para la resolución de problemas. So there's 7 steps for problem solving. And then we're going to talk in a little bit about the strategies for reading comprehension. Entonces, lo primero que tenemos que hacer para resolver un problema es definir el problema. The first thing that we need to do for problem solving is to define the problem. What is that problem? So the example that was given about the child reaching the sink, that's important. Y también tienen que, el segundo paso es, ¿cuál es la alternativa? What's an alternative for, when you have that problem? What is the alternative to that problem? And then, ¿cuál es la alternativa? La tercera es, ¿cómo vas a evaluar y seleccionar esa alternativa? How are you going to evaluate and select that alternative that will help you solve that problem?
Was that 2 or 3? Sorry, I'm trying to.
3.
What was 2?
2 generating alternatives. You generate first, and then you evaluate, right? So you think about generating, meaning you think about what alternatives could be. Mm-hmm. So if I'm trying to wash my hands and I can't reach, what is my alternative? Mm-hmm. Can I bring a stool, or can I if I bring a ball, what's gonna happen, right? And then we hear it, if I bring a ladder, that's not gonna work. And so you have some alternatives.
Okay.
Entonces, generar las alternativas es generar diferentes métodos de resolver algún problema. ¿Qué es lo que puedo escoger? Si traigo una pelota y me subo arriba de esa pelota, ¿me voy a caer o no me voy a caer? He visto a muchos niños que usan eso y se caen. I've seen a lot of kids, and that's when they learn, right? They learn by experience. Y luego, la cuarta es implementar soluciones. So the fourth one is implementing solutions. And I'm sorry, it's the 4 steps for problem solving. 4 pasos para poder resolver problemas.
What was it again? Implemented?
It's defining the problem,
Yeah.
generating alternatives, evaluating and selecting alternatives, and implementing solutions. Definir el problema, generar alternativas, evaluar, seleccionar alternativas y luego implementar soluciones. Now, this may seem, you go, that's too complicated for a 3-year-old, for a 4-year-old. It is complicated, but these are some of the ways that we think. We don't think in steps, no pensamos en los pasos, we just do it automatically, right? But it's really when children start generating those alternatives, when they can get into a little bit of trouble. Cuando empiezan a generar esas alternativas es cuando se pueden meter en unos pocos problemas, porque tal vez la solución no va a salir como ellos pensaban, pero es una manera de que ellos aprenden. So, we believe that children learn by doing, and we need to give them that opportunity to solve problems. Nosotros sabemos que los niños aprenden por el hacer y les tenemos que dar la oportunidad de resolver esos problemas. Una de las maneras que podemos hacer es por medio de la lectura. Y la lectura, los libros, nos ayudan a entender y resolver esos problemas. Children's books are pretty amazing because they help us learn and they help us solve problems. So today, I chose one book that is called The Little Red Hen. How many of you have heard of that story? So it's a traditional story, The Little Red Hen. Para el taller de hoy escogí una historia que se llama La Gallinita Roja y es una historia tradicional y tiene diferentes versiones. So there's different versions of the Little Red Hen. So this one is bilingual. I like this version because you can just jump from English to Spanish, and it's called The Little Red Hen, La Gallinita Roja by Teresa Mlauer, illustrated by Olga Cuellar. And so the difference with this version of The Little Red Hen is that she has her little chicks working with her. La diferencia de esta versión es que tiene a los pollitos que la están ayudando. Y ahorita van a tener tiempo de verlo. This other one, this is another version, The Little Red Hen by Byron Barton. The difference here, it's really in the illustrations. La diferencia aquí es en el tipo de ilustraciones que se utiliza. Pero el problema es el mismo. I know that some of y'all said that you were familiar with The Little Red Hen. What is the major problem in The Little Red Hen? Y'all remember? ¿Cuál es el problema de la gallinita roja?
That she does work, she works up a storm.
So she's looking for help, right? She finds a seed and she wants to plant the seed so that way she can get wheat, so that way she can turn it into bread. But none of the animals around want to help her. La gallinita roja encuentra una semillita, quiere plantar esa semillita de trigo para poder hacer el pan, pero ninguno de los animales la quiere ayudar. And so this is a really good story that helps children think about a problem. So what is the problem? That she has a lot of work and nobody wants to help her. ¿Cuál es el problema? Que tiene mucho trabajo y nadie la quiere ayudar. And so when you think about it in the context of children, what are some of the things that this kind of story is teaching them? To help others. Una de las cosas que está enseñando es cómo puede ayudar a los demás. O the Little Red Hen can say, well, I'm going to do it myself and I'm not going to share with you. In the context of their life, they may not know the word problem, but it's a challenge, right? And the way that they learn that the word problem is that we present that word to them, right? Los niños muchas veces no saben el significado de la palabra problema. Nosotros como adultos se las tenemos que poner, que identificar, perdón. Entonces, so what do? Well, reading comprehension helps you to understand what those problems are in a story. And so what we're going to do right now is I'm going to give you an opportunity to come and look at some of these books, select one book, and then you're going to find out what the problem of that story is. Entonces, ahorita les voy a dar la oportunidad de que pasen a escoger un libro y que escojan un libro y lo lean rápidamente y vamos a ver cuál es el problema en esa historia. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a chance to stand up and then go, and all of these books over here are courtesy of Elgin Library. And so we're going to do it as quickly as possible because then we have some wonderful things to do. Y tengo yo libros en español, si quieres usar mira, este está en español, y las Okay, ¿ya terminaron? Everybody done? Just about? Okay, what problem did you find in your book? ¿Cuál fue el problema que encontraron en su libro?
Well, the first time I read Pumpkin Soup.
Ajá.
So the first problem was that everything was going along just fine, and the duck decided to upset the status quo.
Oh no.
And the problem was he did not use his words. He just made it like he didn't name it. That was the first problem. Then I think there was two problems. Then Duck ran away, and then the other two were like scared and had to go find him. So they had to figure that out, and then they had to come together at the end and figure out who was gonna do what job and how to kind of get along and cooperate.
Entonces hubo dos problemas en esa historia. Tenían que ver cómo, al final tenían que ver cómo iban a comer. Ok, somebody else. ¿Cuál es el problema? Tiene dos problemas este libro. It has two problems too.
A Luis le gusta leer,
Ajá.
pero no todas las actividades, entonces su esposa se enojó. Tenía que solucionar deshacerse de esos libros.
Ok.
El segundo problema es que cuando ya tuvo la solución para compartir libros con otros niños, en el camino se le sale un ladrón, un bandido,
Ajá.
que quiere darle dinero, pero en vez de eso le da un libro.
Okay. Okay. So the problems were that they had too many books and the wife was not happy that she had a lot of books. And then the second problem was that there was a thief that came out on the road where he was at, and then he gave him some books, right?
What
So
was the name of that?
Biblioburro.
Oh.
The library, the library
Yeah.
otro problema, and somebody else,
Mine's Lucy's Secret.
okay?
And so this little girl, Lucy, goes to visit her her aunt, I believe.
Mhm.
And the aunt's talking about the secret. She shows her this box out of a tree that has seeds in it. And so they plant the seeds. I think they're like zinnias or something, I don't know. And so the problem was, guess for it, you have to wait and wait. So the aunt keeps telling her all these different things every day. And at one point, she just gets angry about it. And so the problem was, is patience, in my opinion.
Entonces el problema en el libro era tener paciencia. Okay, very good. Now, there are 6 comprehension strategies that I want to share. Hay 6 estrategias de comprensión que me gustaría compartir, porque estas estrategias espero que les ayude cuando ustedes estén leyendo con sus niños. So these strategies, comprehension strategies, I hope that you find them helpful when you read with your child. When you read out loud, it's called a read aloud. Cuando lees en voz alta, es una estrategia que se llama leer en voz alta. Read alouds can happen at any point, anywhere. Cuando ustedes leen en voz alta, puede suceder en cualquier parte. But you have to be very cognizant if you really want to guide your child to comprehending the story. Tienes que ser intencional cuando estás trabajando con tu niño o con tu niña para que sepas cómo guiarlo en esas estrategias de comprensión. So right now, even though we want them to pick up the book and hurry up and read, it takes time, okay? And so right now, the read aloud is the best thing that you can be doing with your child to promote reading. You want them to love to read. Lo primero que tienes que hacer para que los niños aprendan a leer es que los niños desarrollen ese amor por la lectura. The first strategy is making connections. ¿Cómo hacer conexiones? So what does that mean? Can the child relate to the book that you're reading? How can he or she make connections? ¿Cómo puede hacer tu niño conexiones en ese libro? So if you're reading The Little Red Hen, think of different, would my child can make connections with The Little Red Hen? ¿Puede hacer mi niña o mi niño conexiones con lo que está pasando en este libro de la gallinita roja? I know at my house right now we have a little red hen. How convenient, right? Tenemos una gallinita roja en nuestra casa. And so even though my son is 10 and a half and he loves to be looking through my books, he goes, Mom, it's the little red hen like Rojita. So he was telling, her name is Rojita, Little Red. And so he can make connections. So make sure that the books, that the child can make connection to the story. Predicting, prediciendo. What does predicting mean? What do you think is going to happen? I have to go a little faster, sorry. Number 3, questioning. Haciendo preguntas. You have to make questions. You have to ask them questions, and we're going to try to do that in the story that we're going to read in a little bit. Monitorear. So you have to stop and think about the text. Don't be so concerned about quickly finishing the book, but be more concerned, is my child really getting the story? O sea, no tienes monitorar, quiere decir que te tienes que regular, tienes que pararte a pensar, ¿mi niño está entendiendo o no está entendiendo lo del libro? Because it doesn't help just to go through the book, just to go through it. You have to stop and think, so you're monitoring yourself. Visualizar. So you close your eyes, and if I'm reading The Little Red Hen, my little red hen is going to be different than your little red hen, than your little red hen. Visualizando quiere decir que cierras los ojos y piensas en los personajes del libro y piensas en el lugar de donde está donde se está llevando a cabo la historia, y la gallinita va a ser diferente, tu gallinita va a ser diferente, tu gallinita va a ser diferente, porque todos pensamos diferente. And so that's very important. And then the last one is summarizing. La última es cómo hacer un resumen. So you summarize the story. What was the story about? Just like what y'all did right now. Lo que acaban de hacer ustedes es hacer un resumen de la historia que leyeron. So that's very, very important. So we have about 5 more minutes, and I'm quickly going to, you have this handout right here. No, if you don't, there's some right over there. There's some in Spanish and some, it's the same thing. It's called Choosing Children's Books, Seleccionando Libros Infantiles. Es lo mismo. It's just one in English and one in Spanish. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that you have some guidelines that you can use when selecting books. So when you went up here, you were just kind of looking and see which one you wanted to do. Cuando ustedes fueron acá a la mesa para seleccionar un libro, lo tomaron, tal vez el título les llamó la atención, tal vez las ilustraciones, pero tenían que escoger uno rápidamente, ¿verdad? Porque no tenemos tiempo. So, when you went to the table and selected the book, you looked at the illustrations, maybe the title, but you have to choose one very quickly because we don't have that much time. And so what I'm hoping that this list does for you, it gives you an idea about what to look for in a book. But one of the things that I want to stress, the child has to be interested in it. Una de las cosas que es muy importante es que los niños tienen que estar interesados. So hopefully you can make this useful. You can come to the library and you can ask. That's one way, really quick, and you can say, can you show me a poetry book? And so Miss JB and Miss Sandy are gonna go in their wonderful computer, and they're going to, and of course you have to tell them the age of the child, right? Lo más importante es que vengan a la biblioteca, Miss JB y Miss Sandy, las bibliotecarias les van a ayudar a escoger o seleccionar esos libros. Esta es una lista que les ayuda a los papás para saber cómo es que pueden seleccionar esos libros. So, because I'm running out of time, that always happens to me. For today, I selected Holy Guacamole. Little Red Hen makes guacamole. Or like I say, guacamole, right? And so one of the reasons that I really like this version of the Little Red Hen is because a lot of us like guacamole. That's really, and I just thought it was so neat. We're in Central Texas. We love Tex-Mex. And so this is one way of getting the children to use some Spanish. One way of making connections. Remember, that's one of the strategies that I gave you. Es una de las maneras que pueden hacer esa conexión con el libro. So these are your directions when the children get here. So I'm going to read the book. Yo voy a leer el libro. And it's your job. I see that all of y'all brought your journal. If you didn't, we have more journals over there. You're going to write 2 comprehension questions. So you're going to write 2 questions that you're going to ask your child, okay, about the book. Anything that you want to ask them, think about what we talked about, develop your own question, okay? Cualquier cosa que ustedes le quieran preguntar, escriban 2 preguntas. Because you know why too? Because you don't have to ask like 15 questions. Because children want to read the book and they're out of there. Los niños quieren leer el libro y rápido se quieren ir, ¿verdad? Hubo una pregunta el mes pasado acerca de qué es lo que pasaba si los niños quieren voltear la página rápido cuando estás leyendo. So there was a question that somebody asked about, well, what do you do when they just want to turn the page and turn the page? Well, you know what? That's wonderful because turning the page is actually an early literacy skill. saber cómo darle la vuelta a la página es parte de las destrezas de alfabetización temprana. And so that's one thing that the teachers are going to be looking for. And I mean, the children can be doing several things. One, they can be in a hurry because it's like, okay, come on, mom, hurry up, ¿verdad? Pueden ser que los niños quieran decir, ya, vámonos, ya, vamos a leerlo rápido, rápido, rápido. O puede ser que les guste tanto el libro que quieran ver qué es lo que va a pasar. Or maybe they love the book, that they just want to know what's going to happen. Give them time. So between 2.5 till about 5, they're still wanting to do things in a hurry. Not all of them. Some of them do. So just give them time. Maybe they don't want to read that book. Maybe they don't want to, you know, I may think that Holy Guacamole is the funniest book ever, but they really want to look at Fiesta Babies, right? Have them select the book that they want. Déjenlos que ellos escojan el libro que ellos quieran, porque ellos son los que tienen que aprender a leer. So you allow them, or you invite them, actually, not allow, but you invite them to select the book that they want. If you have children that are younger than 2.5, that's what these are for books, ¿verdad? They can put them in their mouth, se los pueden meter a la boca, los pueden morder. A lot of the books that I have, I couldn't bring them because they're all chewed. Están mordidos, mordisqueados, porque, and so you can use board books, you can use a cloth. So, your job, so that's one thing that you're gonna do with the comprehension questions. Then, I have one more thing that you're gonna do. So, I brought avocados. You're gonna make guacamole. Well, your children are gonna make. I have 15 avocados. I think we have like 13 kids. So everybody gets one. I'm like, yay. But you're not done yet. Okay, and I have forks and we have the bowls. Another thing is that we don't want anything to go to waste. My husband wouldn't like it. Or Spencer's wife, Angelica wouldn't like it either. So guess what you're gonna do? Everybody's gonna take one and you're gonna plant your avocado seed. Now there's different ways of planting a seed. And we're not gonna do the difficult one because my husband is the one that does all the planting, not me. But I thought, what a wonderful way to, to end with recycling and starting something new. Mi esposo es el que hace todo lo de los jardines, de las plantas. Entonces vamos a plantar, vamos a hacer guacamole primero, después le vamos a quitar la semilla al aguacate, vamos a llenar la maceta de tierra y pueden poner la semillita así, se la van a tener que llevar a la casa y limpiarla muy bien y quitarle la cascarita y luego ya la pueden plantar, la cubren con más tierra, les traje tierra y luego le tienen que poner agua. So you're gonna do, what I would love for you to do is write the steps. What do you need to do? Something simple. Don't go through like 10 steps. Clean the seed, pour the soil, put the seed. And then you can read it to your child. So you go, okay, let's follow. That's reading comprehension. Following directions. That's something that the teacher wants the child to learn. Comprehension, following directions. Entonces, van a seguir las instrucciones que ustedes van a escribir. So you write it. I'm just giving you ideas. You may have a better way of planting avocados. I don't know, I looked it up on YouTube. No sé, yo lo busqué en YouTube. But it's an excellent way, and so then, if they want to put their names, they can write their name. It becomes theirs as they age. And so they'll remember because they can make connections. So they're coming in, all right? All right, yeah, free hair. So I am going to put things over here, and then I'm going to read the book, and then we'll pass things out. And we have the soil, and the kids can just get the soil from there.
Thanks.
Do you have any other ones that you know?
Yeah, they have a whole section on there, and I just kind of grabbed the name of it just like I did that. And my wife does it too.
I love it. All right, everybody. Clap once if you can hear my voice. I love the little red hen. And you put little hearts. They're red. Oh, that is just so wonderful. Well, right now we still have, this is terrific. Look at that. It has the heart right here. Okay, so I have a special for you. Did y'all like the little red hen? Yeah? Can you raise your hand and let me know you're ready? All right, I think everybody's ready. So we have two very special things we're going to do right now. Can you put your listening ears? I'm going to put mine. Did you get the yellow one? Okay, my ears are ready. All right. So I'm going to read you a special story about a little red hen, but let's see what she's going to do. And then we have some other special things, but we need to move fast because time is flying. So this is Holy Guacamole. Little red hen makes guacamole. How many of you like guacamole? Yeah, perfect. So this is a story retold by Susan Wood, illustrated by Laura Gonzalez. Now look at that. Let's see. One day, little red hen was hungry for guacamole. She looked around her cozy cocina. She had masa and cumin. She had beans and queso, cheese, but she didn't have any avocados. Do you need avocados for the guacamole?
Yeah.
You do? Oh boy. And there's no guacamole without avocados. So little red hen trotted to the avocado grove. Holy what's guacamole? She clucked, clucked. That's a tall tree. Coati, will you help me gather avocados for my guacamole? Not I, snorted Coati. I'm hanging out, but I'll help eat it when it's done, gallinita roja. Nothing beats a tasty guacamole. Then I'll gather the avocados myself, said the little red hen, and she did. Now, little red hen had her avocados, but she needed tomatoes. There's no guacamole without tomatoes. So little red hen trotted to the vegetable garden. Holy guacamole! She clucked. Those tomatoes vines are tangly. Snake, would you help me pluck tomatoes for my guacamole? Not I, his snake. I'm all tied up, but I help eat it when it's done, gallinita roja. Nothing beats a tasty guacamole. Then I'll pluck the tomatoes myself, said the little red hen, and she did. Now little red hen had her avocados and tomatoes, but she needed onions. Do y'all like onions?
No, we never had it.
No. There's no guacamole without onions. So little red hen trotted to the onion patch. Holy guacamole! She plucked. Those onions are buried so deep. Armadillo, will you help me dig onions for my guacamole? Not I, grunted Armadillo. I gotta jump, but I'll help eat it when it's done, Gallinita Roja. Nothing beats a tasty guacamole. Then I'll dig the onions myself, said Little Red Hen, and she did. Now Little Red Hen had her avocados, tomatoes, and onions, but she needed cilantro. There's no guacamole without cilantro, so Little Red Hen trotted to the herb garden. Holy guacamole, she clucked. That cilantro is bushy. Iguana, will you help me snip cilantro for my guacamole? Not I, chirped Iguana. I'm busy basking, but I'll help eat it when it's done, Gallinita Roja. Nothing beats a tasty guacamole. Then I'll snip the cilantro myself, said Little Red Hen, and she did. Now Little Red Hen had her avocados, tomatoes, onions, cilantro, and she needed to mash and mix. There's no guacamole without mashing and mixing. So Little Red Hen trotted back to her casa. Holy guacamole, she clucked. This molcajete is a lot of work. Who will help me mash and mix? Not I, hissed Snake. Not I, snorted Coati. Not I, chirped Iguana. Not I, grunted Armadillo. But we'll help you eat it when it's done, Gallinita Roja. They said together. Nothing beats a tasty guacamole. Then I'll mash and mix myself, said Little Red Hen, and she did. At last, the guacamole was done. The avocados were creamy, the tomatoes were tangy, the onions were zesty, the cilantro smelled heavenly. Holy guacamole, Little Red Hen clucked. That's a lot of guacamole. Who will help me eat this? Who do you think is going to help her? Everybody. I will, hits the snake. I will, grunted Armadillo. I will, chirp Iguana. I will, snorted Coati. Nothing beats a tasty guacamole, they said together. Coati tucked it into a taco. Snake scooped it with a tortilla. Armadillo rolled it into a burrito. Iguana slurped it straight. They said. Suddenly they got chewy. They hugged and puffed and whisked and sweated and slobbered. What happened? ¿Qué pasó? Holy guacamole! That's smoking hot guacamole! Little Red Hen smiled. Nothing beats a tasty guacamole, she cried. And together they ate every spicy bit. The end. Yay! Guess what you're gonna make? Holy is guacamole. You're gonna make guacamole. So, I need help. Can I get a helper over here? This is heavy. Wait, am I gonna be like the little red hen? Will somebody help me? You will help? All right. How about 3 helpers? One holds the bag, the other one passes avocados, guacamole. So this is what we're gonna do. You hold it on one side, and then you pass. How about you take the avocados and give it to each child that you see? Okay, there you go. And then I'm gonna need walk around so everybody can get one avocado. And I need another helper. Can I get another helper? All right. Right here. Can somebody come and help her? So keep walking. The helper can get one. So everybody.
You wanna help? You wanna help?
I still need one more help. Yeah, she's gonna help me over here. We have lots of things to walk around the whole thing with one hold. Every time. Okay, one time. Yeah, because everybody gets I think we have enough avocados for everybody. I brought 15. I think we have 13 children. I think we have 13. And then they can come over here. Okay, parents. All right, we have. Oh, thank you. We do need some paper towels. So here's some forks. We don't have the molcajete. Sorry. So we'll use a fork. And you're gonna make, here's some knives. So get your knife, cut the avocado. That way you can make, you can smash the avocado with a fork. Because we read the story like the little red hen. Sorry.
We don't have time to make
I know.
which one?
I could have read the other avocado. I could have. And you can start cutting it. And then your parents can help you with cutting. We're going to take the and we're going to here's a fork to wash the avocado. So try to get the avocado out. And then you can cut. There we go. You need a knife? You got it? Oh, you're going to put your knife over here. I'll put it over here. Oh! There you go. Did everybody get one? Everybody should have one. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. All right, so here's some paper towel. You're welcome. Take a seat because we're gonna plant the seed.
Even if it was cut in half.
Even if it's cut in half, you can try it and see if it comes out. Parents, remember after that you can ask those comprehension questions. I know we're running a little bit out of time.
You don't want to use this here.
Here we go.
Every time.
Yeah, maybe we just start taking it.
Look out, we will have it in the library next week.
Alright.
We could work on these.
It's student run.
Well, I think they're gonna put in holes on them.
I'm not sure how to like this.
So when you're done, you can come and get some soil. And you can plant your own avocado. Pueden ir por la tierra porque van a plantar la semilla del aguacate. You're going to plant the avocado seed. You can just put it there because you really need to leave it out to take out, to peel it. It's a little bit hard to peel it.
Is there any suggestions?
You can use for compost. So if you have a garden or somewhere, or yeah, compost. Yeah, you can take it. You can put it in.
Oh, there's a
You have a bucket where you can put it there.
I don't know, we'll have to look at it. We can ask them.
You got it? Okay, take as much as you need. You can take as much, please take as much as you need.
Okay, let's do 2 more.
You make your guacamole? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You can eat it, you can take it home, eat it with a chip, put it on a bread, on a cracker, a tortilla. There you go.
We can make a taco.
You can make a taco, you can put, if you want, a little pepper.
Eat it.
Yeah, it is right there. See, that's
sun's getting kind of staticky. I don't know if she's moving around.
Oh, you got dirt. Good job.
Oh, that's okay. Is it still like that? Oh, so you just talking about it's just the way you heard it for like a couple minutes.
What is
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good to go. I don't care. I'll stick around. Okay. I wasn't sure. I think it's just kind of gonna be like this for a while. Yeah, it's gonna be like that. That's a good idea.
You got it? Okay, take as much as you need.
So if you have a young child who you want to introduce to the wonderful world of reading, you need to come and join us at these fun and informative sessions the second Tuesday of every month, starting at 5:30 in the afternoon. It's a 90-minute session. If you'd like to sign up, you have any questions, you can call us at the Elgin Public Library. Our number is 512-281-5678. And remember, it is never too early to teach a child to love to read.